Hey there, YouTube viewers. I'm Rosie the Rose Girl, and I want to share another fun memory, another story time. And this one is about my first ever concerts, and they were both slaughter shows. Okay, so the first one happened August 20th, 2011. And my very first slaughter show was also the first time I ever met my best friend, after having known her for 7 years. The way I met her was she was selling stuff on eBay that she had made, and it happened to be a Blas Elias clock. And I just happened to message her on there asking her why she's selling it, because if I had something like that, there's no way I could part with it. And she told me that she made those, so I was amazed by that. And when she sent me the clock, she also sent me a folder, I think a folder with some free slaughter pictures, which was cool, and a note. And after that, our friendship just took off, and we were friends ever since. So anyway, it was my first time meeting her, August 20th, 2011, in person, and she wanted our first meeting to be a slaughter show. And so she got here sometime that afternoon, because she drove all the way from Virginia, and she sat and we visited with my mom for a while. Well, she visited with my mom for a while, and my mom wasn't feeling good that day. And we also had a house guest because my girls had a friend over who spent the night. They had a sleepover. And I was just excited. I was nervous. I was excited because it was going to be my first slaughter show and everything. So I was just on cloud nine that day. And so when we finally left, we were met on the highway with a bit of a trial, because we have a tendency to have cloudbursts here in the summer. And we had one. And something was wrong with the van that she had at that time, because when it rained or whatever, her car would stop. And so we stopped right there on the highway. And we sat there. We had to sit there for a bit until the car dried enough for us to drive it off of the highway. And when we got off the highway, we found this car place, because we were going to Hoover, the Iron Horse Cafe in Hoover, which is where the concert was being held. And down the street from there was this car place. When we got there, we talked to a few of the guys, the mechanics there. I think it was a car dealership, actually. And one of the guys there seemed to know what was wrong, and he fixed the problem for her, and he fixed it for free. But Vicky insisted on paying the guy because she's just that much of a sweetheart. Anyway, when we got there, we got out of the car, and the first person that we saw walking across the parking lot was Mark Slaughter. And I was on the phone with my daughter, because she was upset because her sister Gabby was at another show. There's this cover band or something playing a show, I think in Trussville. And so she went with her friend, with her friend Catherine, but the mom wouldn't take AJ, which I just didn't understand. So I was on the phone with my younger daughter, and I told her that I had to call her back because Mark Slaughter was just standing like right there in front of us. And so after a brief conversation, I shook his hand, and his hands were rough. But after shaking his hand, he gave me and Vicky some guitar picks from Soundcheck that he did, I guess. And then he went on his merry little way, and then we kept on into the venue, and we got to sit at the bar and listen to the other bands do sound check. And I was having a Coke, and then I look out the window, And the first person I see is Dana Strum coming off the bus. And I just looked over at him and just nonchalantly said, there's Dana. And it kind of floored me just how cool I was about it. But there he was, just like in the flesh. And so he came in and he spoke to both Vicky and I, and she introduced him to me. He was charming, he was very sweet, shook my hand, and he had very nice hands, very, very soft hands. Such a wide contrast from Mark Slaughter's, whose hands were rough. But anyway, he had very soft hands and he was really sweet. And then the next person I saw was Jeff Blando, Slaughter's guitar player. And he calls out, "Strum!" And they had a conversation off somewhere, and I don't know what they talked about. It wasn't my business. And so anyway, next thing I know, Zoltan gets on stage and he starts playing around with the drums. And then he starts just gutting out this beat. I mean, it goes through his drumming goes through your soul. My favorite drummer is Blas Elias. Always has been, always will be, Blas Elias. And he is Slaughter's original drummer, but he wasn't there, so got Zoltan. And Zoltan is a very exceptional drummer. If you ever get the chance to go see Slaughter, if you haven't yet, you should go see him. And so they did a sound check, and to see part of the sound check, you have to look at my videos. I have 2 short videos of their sound check here on YouTube. I will put the links in the description. If you don't want to find those, I'll put the links in the description and you can check those out. But I did briefly record their sound check. And it was just amazing. They are amazing live. And so the show was finally at maybe 8 or 9 that night, I think. But I believe, yeah, the meet and greet was before the show. And so we went to see them out in front of the venue and got to meet them. I got a picture with them. I never show that to anybody, and I'm not going to show it here. And they spoke to us, they talked to us, and took pictures and joked around, and Dana embarrassed me, called me world famous Internet Roxy. The internet, I'm always on the internet. Internet is my life. Oh, shut up, Dana. Anyway, and then he told me that he talked to Blas that day, and that they discussed him doing a show with them, and it was going to be an experiment to see how things go, which they did do a show with him on September 1st. I was really upset that I didn't get to see him play a show with them, that show with them, because I really wanted to go. For Dana to give me that heads up and me not to be able to make it to Michigan to see them, I was just upset, but things happen for a reason, I guess. But he did tell me about it, and he said that he was telling me that because he was aware that I am fond of Blas. That's how he put it. That I was quite fond of Blas. And I was blushing to death on the inside. But I said nothing. I think I told him thank you. And they went inside and played an amazing set. We were right up front. I got pushed back to the second row somehow. But regardless of that, they played an amazing show. And then right after their show, we went outside. We didn't stay for the last band, which were the winners of War of Rock. I think that was the name of the show, War of Rock. And the name of the band that played that night escapes me, but they're from Texas. They're a band from Texas. I'll put the name of the band on the video once I find out who it is. But it was just a fun night all around. And then I got home that night and I saw Metal Mania, and they came on Metal Mania. It was Flights of the Angels, and all I could think was, oh my god, I saw 2 of them in person. You know, because during the meet and greet, Dana gave me a kiss on the cheek. He bent down to give me a kiss. I offered him my cheek. And just before they left, Mark Slaughter gave me a hug. And it was this, he gives magnificent hugs. And he has the softest hair. Oh my god. I wanted to run my fingers through it. But anyway, I want to thank them for that show. But the second show I went to was in New Orleans. Vicky came back June 30th, 2012. And we drove, I don't know how many hours that morning to that afternoon all the way to New Orleans. And the first thing we did when we got there was find the venue. And after we found the venue, we went and found a motel. I think it was Motel 6. I still have my card key because she let me keep it. So I keep it in my wallet. It's not for good luck or anything, it's just for the memories. And then when we got there, we took showers, of course separately, but we took showers, put on makeup, got dressed for the show, and we sat on our separate beds and just talked and watched this cartoon. I think it was on Cartoon Network. I don't know what the cartoon was. And we just sat around until maybe about 3 or so, maybe 4, I don't know. And we left for the venue. When we got there, we sat on the porch of the place, and it was so hot outside. It was so hot. Oh god, it was hot outside. I was sweating, and I was sleepy because I felt sick. And when I feel sick, I tend to get sleepy. So I was like dozing off on the porch of the place. But what I did was I put on some sunglasses and hoped that nobody would notice. And we sat out there for hours. And they finally opened the doors at around 7. The first band we saw was Lineham. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that they are a Birmingham band. And I believe I have video of them too. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know I have video from that show. But I will post pictures from each show in this video, so no worries. You'll get to see my proof. But yeah, we got to see Lineham, and they're from Birmingham, and I was just, they've become one of my favorite bands. Not just because they're from Birmingham, but because they have just genuinely good music, and they're not bad to look at. But they're a great band, so check them out. Once this video is over, after this video, go check them out. Look at their music, buy it, find it, buy it, listen to it, stuff like that. Anyway, and then we had to wait another hour or so for Slaughter to come on stage. And they finally did, and they did a great set. And from the stage, Dana looked down at me and mouthed, "Thank you." And so that was really cool. That was pretty cool. And you know, it was just a great night. And I was driven home the very next morning. Got home sometime that afternoon, and I think I went to sleep. But these are just great memories. If there are any details I've left out, I'll do a part 2. But I mean, it was just a great show, and I had a fun time. You know, great memories. And I want to thank my bestie Vicky for those experiences, because without her, it wouldn't have been possible. And I hope to be able to do the same for my daughters, because I want them to see Slaughter live. I would hope to see Bloss with them again. If not, I would like to see him playing any number of shows that he does in Las Vegas. But I do want them to see Slaughter as well, because they are a great band to see live. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope to do more fun story times, because I want to get away from the doom and the gloom, because I just want You know, I want to show that I've had good times in my life and that I do have good memories. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me ramble on and on and on. And I wish you guys love and roses, much happiness and blessings, and I will see you guys on the next upload. Bye!